Hi, this is Amir with the USA Chartbreakers here at Zacks Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 13th of March. Starting off with the S&P, and here we've got this progression within that narrowing rising channel there. That's been in place since October, top of the channel there. Currently heading for the 52.40 level. That's our target, hopefully by the end of this month. On the downside, 50.80, the floor of the channel. If we break back below that, then it's a gap fill down towards 49.80 is the possibility, just near the blue 50-day moving average. If we break through 52.20, the best on the upside, maybe by the end of next month, would be up towards 53.90 in that late September resistance line projection. Moving along to the Nasdaq, and here, obviously echoing what we see at the situation for the S&P, but you can see that we bounced off the floor of that rising trend channel from October. That's around the basic 17,900 level, top of the channel there, up to 18,500. That's our near-term upside, and best case would be up to 19,200, maybe by the end of this month. We do break down again. It's a gap fill situation, 17,500, and that's also the area of the 50-day moving average. We've got nice bounces though at and above RSI 50 over the last, well, basically since the start of the year. So that looks like a strong trending market. Moving on to the stocks, and plenty of strong trending situations here today. The first one coming up in the form of Bowman Consulting, and here you can see that we've had the gap higher through recent resistance, that recent resistance around $37.50. Above that, we're looking for the top of that rising trend channel from June, as high as $46 by the end of this month. But the ideal scenario is that we stay on the right side of that 37.50 zone. Next up, another bullish situation, as you might expect. Clearone, you've got a massive gap to the upside. Not much to go for now, go on at the moment, actually, because obviously we've had the first we had an island reversal, island top, and then we've had a bear trap island reversal on the upside, on the downside rather, and then the gap higher back in December. I suppose the gap higher in December really was the starting gun for the recent rally. Current situation, though, is that we do have that old gap top there around $1.80, and while we're above that, looking for a retest of the $2.60 area, basically May-June resistance for the shares. Moving on to a stock which is a repeat, and it is D-Wave, and here you can see that the stock rebounding well after bouncing above a rising 50-day moving average. We closed basically just above recent resistance from back in February, and the longer we stay on the right side of $2, the greater the chance of a move to the top of that rising channel from June last year, as high as $3.50, looking for that as soon as the end of this month. On to a new name, and here we have what's normally another biotech type situation. Obviously not a great chart going into March, but we have the first signs that we're in a rising trend channel base. Top of the channel there at $26, so we're looking for that by the end of next month. And waiting for, I suppose, an end of day close through recent resistance around $14.30. But that channel there looks as though it's been multi-tested, and this could be the support area for the shares. Another winner is Gigacloud, and here we've got that rising trend channel which has been in place since basically the end of November. A very well obeyed channel there at the moment, so we just hit that to start the week. $31, above $31, looking for $46 or $47 as soon as the end of this month. Another sharp riser coming up next, and it's HNR, and here you can see that we've got this U-shaped turnaround. Possibly we are looking at the top of that rising trend channel base at $6.90, let's call it, and that's valuable while there's no end of day close back below the old late November peak there around $4.10, so above $4.10, looking for that. But obviously you can see the pre-market just around that zone at the moment, so waiting for that trigger to be delivered. Another bullish situation coming in the form of Heritage, and here we've got an unfilled gap to the upside after the gap through the 50-day moving average at the end of last month, so it's a continuation signal. Looking for the shares to make progress within a rising trend channel from back in June last year. $11 possible by the end of this month, especially while we remain above the top of the latest gap at $8.05. Moving along to Another situation of note, Lantern Pharma, and here you can see that we've got this rising trend channel in place since May last year. Nice consolidation at the moment. We had a couple of gaps up, and we are sort of consolidating near the floor of the latest gap, the second gap. Top of the channel there, heading for around the $11 level, looking for that by the end of this month, while we remain above $6. Big mover and a sort of a stock which is certainly flavor of the month at the moment, Microstrategy. Here you can see the shares heading for the stars within a rising trend channel. We already hit our previous target there, around $800. Now we're shooting for as high as the top of the channel, which is currently pointing up towards $1,900. And we're expecting that while we're above the initial March resistance for the shares around $13.55. Nvidia, one of the stocks of our age, I think one could say, and here the progress continues with the rising trend channel. What target that we had, the red one from August, hit there at around $950. We've got a steeper channel now, the black channel there, that's heading for $10.80, and we're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the floor of that November channel there, around $840. Keeping up with the best of the tech at the moment is Oracle Corporation, and here massive unfilled gap to the upside. Actually, I suppose we're level with the best levels of last year, around $127. Ideally, we stay above the top of this gap there at $124.80 and head up to the top of the channel there from back in September as high as $140 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. The risk, though, obviously, is that we have to test the $120 area before we then make a move to $140. But at the moment, probably the easiest thing is to assume that we will break out, especially with the recent gap through the 50-day moving average and the momentum that seems to be there. Moving along to Ranpack, and here you can see that we've got a rising trend channel there from July last year. Top of the channel there heading towards $9, and we're looking for $9, especially while we remain above a recent resistance, the broken resistance zone, around $5.10. $9 hopefully by the end of next month. New name coming up next, and here we have the situation at Rigetti. The overall pattern here, a very encouraging one, a sort of saucer-shaped turnaround, and looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel from August at $3.20 by the end of next month, while we remain above the recent swing low support around $1.86. Another stock in focus, but with many, is coming up, Supermicro Computer, and here, after the little shakeout that we had last month, we've gone into a steeper rising trend channel, and the floor of that channel currently around the 1060 mark, above 1060, looking for 1500 as soon as the end of next month, especially with the couple of gaps higher that we've had over recent weeks. An old favorite returns in the form of Soundhound, and here you can see why it's an old favorite. We've had the massive gap to the upside back in February, and sort of V-shaped bull flag, as I call it, looks as though we're going to head up to $8 well before the end of this month, and then maybe we can look at trying to guess where the new level to the upside will be. On to the last two. First one is coming up, and it takes the form of Semilux, and here you can see we've got this U-shaped turnaround. What's of interest here is that on the way down we had a couple of unfilled gaps to the downside, and now we are turning around almost in equal fashion, a sort of mirror fashion. Initial target here up to $3.90, while we remain above the $2 zone, which was initial support on the way down and resistance on the way up. Last one of the day is coming up here, and last but not least, I suppose, is what you say, Singularity Future Technology. Here we've had a bear trap island reversal, so gapping down there in February and gapping up now for March. Just waiting on an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average at $4.38 to give us $7 as soon as the end of this month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the gap floor there at $3.10. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.